Sairam, respected elders, dear brothers and sisters and children. We are blessed to have with us this evening Brother Nishikant Barodekar from Prasanthi Nilayam. A few words about Brother Nishikant. Brother Nishikant Barodekar was born and brought up in a family of Sai devotees and accomplished musicians. His grandmother, Srimati Hirabai Barodekar, was blessed to be in the divine presence of Shirdi Sai Baba when she was a young girl. With divine blessings, she went on to become a famous vocalist and was awarded the title of Padma Bhushan. The Barodekar family was doubly blessed when Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba visited their home during Brother Nishikant's childhood. With Swami's guidance, Brother Nishikant started playing Tabla for Bal Vikas and other programs in Bhagwan's divine presence at Mumbai, Pune and Puttaparthi. He went on to get his formal training under world-class Tabla maestros Ustad Allah Rakha and Ustad Zakir Hussain. He started performing professionally from the year 1990. He has travelled extensively, performing on several global stages in US, UK, Canada, Germany, France, Malaysia, Spain, Holland, Middle East, Russia, Japan, and now of course Singapore. Brother Nishikant has had the unique privilege of playing tabla alongside maestros Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, Ustad Zakir Hussain, Pandit Shri Birju Maharaj, Pandit Bhim Singh Joshi, Ustad Vinayak Khan, and several such musical luminaries of India. Brother Nishikant has been an active participant in Prasanthi Mandir Bhajan Group since 1995. In 2006, Swami instructed Brother Nishikant to move to Puttaparthi and appointed him Professor in Music at the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning Music Department. Brother Nishikant has also been a visiting professor for music in universities of US, Europe and Japan. He is a recipient of many honors and awards. Brother Nishikant has had the privilege of accompanying Swami to Kodai, Chennai, Mumbai, Pune, Delhi and Shimla, where Swami asked him to share his experiences too. For over 2 decades, Swami had entrusted Brother Nishikant with the responsibility of inviting musical artists and organizing music programs for several occasions, including Bhagwan's birthday and other such major celebrations in Prasanthi Nilayam. Brother Nishikant has also served as Sevadal and Prasanthi security personnel for over 14 years and was blessed to receive many personal, family and group interviews with Bhagwan. Amidst a soul-stirring sharing and some enthralling tabla moments this evening, Brother Nishikant will be accompanied by our very own Brother Ravindraj Gunasekhar, who needs no introduction, on harmonium and vocals as and when needed. Without further ado, let us put our hands together as we welcome Brother Nishikant Barodekar to share with us his moments and movements with Sai.
Om Shri Sairam. Offering my most humble, loving and gratitudeful Sairams to Bhagwan Baba. We invoke blessings, Ashirvads and guidance for this today's session. We request Baba to take over and bless us with his messages and divine Ashirvad. So Om Shri Sairam to all of you.
Sairam.
First of all, Brother Ravin brother has poured out his heart in just 2-3 bhajans, and we are so thankful for that. Of course, in Swami's food, we never say thank you to each other. But yesterday, the other day, I was talking about what a bhajan can do. So this is just a small sample for maybe those who are new here. And when the bhajans are sung in a manner exactly how Swami has designed for. So, thank you, Ravin Bhai. So nice of you. So let me begin with a story. This is a story about a young boy, maybe 10-11 years old. And this boy, he was born in the Sai family, and he had some issues with his eyes and throat also. So when the doctors they checked up on that, they said this boy has got a problem with his throat. And at that time, like some years back, it was called tonsillitis. Not a very big problem, but So they decided they should have a surgery. So everything was appointed, the day of the operation was there. And the boy being young, he was told, briefed that he will be given anesthesia. He was scared what will happen to his throat. His friends were telling stories about, they are going to cut your throat and blah, blah, blah. So, being in the family of Sai fold, the parents guided and everything was fine. And the operation, the doctor of the operation was a very big surgeon, a very senior person, and a family friend of the family. So he had a history of having his heart, being weak, several heart attacks. But being doctor, he used to have those injections which he used to carry, and he was from Africa. He was Indian, but he was working in Africa, and then he shifted back to India. So the operation was about to begin, and the anesthesia was given, and the operation started. Now in between the operation, it's just a 15-20 minutes operation, it's like a small surgery. The doctor got heart attack while operating on the child, and he fell down. So now it's a small kind of a surgery turned out to be a big kind of a problem. Well, the hospital ran across and they, times the road, oxygen, they brought the oxygen, somehow the doctor was survived. And that boy who was being operated upon, he was still on the operation table with his mouth open, and the operation halfway through is to be yet completed. So one of the house doctors maybe, they finished the operation. Everything was fine, the doctor was also okay, back to normal, the boy came to senses, and the same evening Bhagwan Baba was in their town and the darshans were going to happen. So the family said, we'll go for darshans. That's what the family was told, that the operation is very small, but due to this delay, somehow, because not a major operation, so the doctor told the child, listen, one thing, you are not supposed to eat anything, only ice cream for 2 days. So he was very happy, just 2 days of ice cream and all that. And that's it, and they go to Swami for darshans. So after the darshans were done, bhajans were done, and people are waiting, normally they wait for Swami to have that, final bye-bye or that wave of hand, or, as a last glimpse of Swami. Nobody wants to miss that glimpse. So Swami called that family close by and told to the boy, what happened to you? So the boy was wanting to talk, but he was unable to talk because of the operation maybe. So Swami waved his hand and created a peda, a sweet ball. Peda, everyone knows peda. Yeah. And gave it to the boy to eat. Now the boy was told by the doctor, you are not supposed to eat anything, only ice creams. But of course the parents and everyone said, Swami's prasad, have it. No, Swami put it in his mouth, he had it. And then Swami told the parents that this boy, I know what happened, there was an operation. The doctor got heart attack, he got saved, but the boy has lost his voice in that delay. So now I have given him, and now he will be able to talk. From then on, the boy started talking, and the boy is sitting right in front of you. So this was a very, I was told that this happened because I was quite young, and for us, Swami was like grandfather, because it was in the family, and my grandmother, Srimati Hirabai Barodekar ji. So I think before me going, we can start with the switch on. Yeah, I got it. Yes.
Down button.
Okay, that's the down. Okay.
Yep.
Well, music was, of course, there in the house, and I remember being a musician's house. We never had a teapoy or chairs. We had tabla, harmoniums, tanpuras, and the visitors were all dadimas, my grandmother's musical friends, musical students, musical all family. We are talking about like, Vimsanji, Pandit Nishikant used to come by frequently. I mean, people might have heard these names, but some names they might have not heard. Kishoriji's mother, Mogubai Koldikar, and Shobha Gurtu's mother, and they senior because she was very senior in age also and all. So they used to all, those were the times when people are, when they traveled or they visited any place, there were no hotels around much. So they stayed with friends or, family friends, or like musicians stayed with musicians. So that's how it was. So our house was full of musicians, and every time my grandmother, whenever she got to interact with Bhagwan, she always pleaded, Bhagwan, please come home, bless our home once. Aega. He used to take in a very nice, Hyderabadi Hindi. Humko malum hai hum aata hi. He used to say something like that. So in one of these darshans, let me go with the slides. Before I go further for the darshans, as we maybe in the introduction they said about Shirdi Baba. Quickly I will narrate that story. When my grandmother was 6 years old, I'm talking about 1911, they were traveling in a train with her parents, of course, and they were also musicians. She had this fever and some kind of a bug she had got, infection. I'm talking about 1911, the trains were so fast, they were only 12 kilometers per hour. That was told. So anyway, the fever went very high, and everyone said, might as well get off at the next stop and show a doctor or a hakim, whatever you can. So they got off at the next stop, and to cut it short, there was nobody around over there in that station. And those stations never even had footpaths, the platforms. So they were dropped, and then the train went by, and there was this horse cart, horse cart fellow. He saw them, and then they came by and said, where do you want to go? So they said, we want to go to a doctor, the child is very ill and fever is very high. He said, okay, I'll take you to one Baba, there's no doctors around here. So they put them, they all went in the Tanga and they reached Shirdi. So lo and behold, Bhagwan Baba, Shirdi Baba. Swami used to lovingly call him Buddha Baba. So he saw from far and from there only, this now the story was told by Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. बच्ची को लेके आओ, बच्ची नहीं मरती. I'm going to translate it. Then get the child here. कुछ नहीं होता. She will be fine. She will not die. Bring her here. So they brought to Shirdi Baba, and Shirdi Baba from his, dhuni, he lifted that Angara. In Maharashtra they say Angara for Vibhuti. Applied to her and then put some in her mouth also. So in that phase of time, the fever was gone by, everything was done, and they stayed over for 2-3 days. And her father, Ustad Abdul Karim Khan, my great grandfather, was one of the senior, we can say pioneer musicians of establishing the Kirana Gharana. He sang for Bhagwan Baba 2-3 days. We never knew this, only when Swami told in our presence when we were there, we got to know this. So anyway, so that was the connection. And then the first meet of Hirabaiji and Bhagwan Baba was in Mumbai, Bombay, in 1965, when she was 60 years old, because she was 21 or 22 years elder than Bhagwan Baba, Sathya Sai. So Swami used to call her Didi. And she used to, maybe whenever she went by, she, was meant to sit along with Ishwaramma Mata. So anyway, so that's the background quickly I wanted to show. Padma Bhushans in 71. Now this is one of the pictures. This is in Pune, 74 or 73. And it was that time when she could, sit in front of Bhagwan and sing for him. But this was much later, quickly rewind, 1965. She got a message from Mumbai. We used to stay in Pune, Maharashtra, next to Bombay, just 4 hours from Bombay. That tomorrow Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba has asked for your attendance and performance in front of him. So that was the message. Now, what happened? There was a conflict. It was her 60th birthday, and big musicians were coming down to Pune for a big festival as an occasion to felicitate her. I'm talking about musicians about Ustad Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab, Amir Khan Sahab, Ilayat Khan Sahab, Ravi Shankar Ji, all the maestros. Vimsanji and all, they were younger much. They were much senior. We used to call Vimsanji Anna, because he was like a grandfather to us also. But anyway, so she was like a little, wondering what to be done, because she had never seen Sathya Sai Baba. But she wanted to go. Her heart was, she wanted to have darshan. She was very much, into spirituality. And several other Swamis, Sadhakas, Babas and Rishis, they all used to visit home. So she said, I have to go and meet Baba. But everyone said, like, everyone, all the artists are coming for your felicitation, and if you go, how will it work? Within few hours, another message comes from Mumbai. Swami had said, yes, there is a function in the evening, you come in the morning, I will send you by car back to Pune. So that was how it was. And she went to Mumbai, she got darshans. So when first time she saw Bhagwan Baba and touched his feet, he said, "Tum to Buddha ko mil ke aaye ho." When she first met him, Swami said, "You have met the old man." Old man means Shirdi Sai Baba. Then she performed for him and Ashirwads were given, and then the story goes on. So this was in 75 when one of the darshans, every time my Karan used to say, "Baba, please come home, please visit us, bless us, aayega, aayega." So this was a normal darshan, everything was happening, and suddenly, Swami came to her and said, "मेरा भी तुम नीचे क्यों बैठता है? मैं तुमको कुर्सी बैठ देता हूँ. लोग क्या बोलेगा कि बाबा तुमको कुर्सी भी नहीं देता." Translation coming. Swami said, "Kirabhai, why are you sitting down? They'll give you a chair, you sit on the chair, you know. And what people will say that Swami is not given chair to you to sit. So she said, no Swami, I'm fine and I'm going to sing bhajans. So talking with her, Swami himself sat in front of her on the ground and the bhajans were on. So that was one of the connections. And that time, Swami used to eat pan, you know, betel leaf. So, chubby cheeks, huge halo of hair, and I mean, radiancy, that tejas we can't describe, and Swami having pan. Well, the bhajans were on, so he went for a round around doing darshans. My grandmother, in the meanwhile, thought, Swami pan khate hain, tambaku bhi khate kya? Swami, you know, because the musicians, the translation is that when she thought about when Swami was having pan, whether Swami is having tobacco in the pan. You know, because musicians are in the habit of doing that thing, tobacco and all that. So, I mean, you know, just a vague thought. So Swami, you know, took around and after some time came and stood in front of her and then I said, Hira bhai, I have pan, I have chuna, I have supari, but I don't eat tobacco. I don't have tobacco. And then quickly he said, get up, go home, I'm following in 15-20 minutes. Now she thought he was joking. She was like, what? Quickly he said, go home, take your family, I will join, I'll come there in 15-20 minutes. And really, I remember coming in the car, somebody's car, whatever it was, and we reached home. By the time, we made some agreement about, cleaning the making space in the hall, drawing hall. Swami's car comes over there. Just in 15-20 minutes. In the meanwhile, that timing, from the other side, Pandit Nishikant Joshi's car comes. He doesn't know, he was not in the darshan, he was not knowing who Swami is. And he normally used to visit our house as like another home. It was like home for us, us also. And unfortunately to say that he was not in a state of, he was in a very different kind of a state. And he was drunk, sorry to say that. So, he came in the house and my father saw him, and my father was waiting at the gate to, welcome Swami. Now here walks in Vimsanji before Swami is coming. And, so my father said, just stand over here, Baba is coming. So he stood over there. And Swami comes out of the car, the car is parked, Swami comes out of the car. And Indulal Shah sir is in the car, but he will not come outside the car unless Swami told, because it's a personal visit. So that discipline has to follow. I'll come to the discipline part of the Swami's, philosophy later. And on the street there was this hawker going by who used to sell sugar cane candies. The pieces of sugar cane. We used to have in Marathi we say ganderi, right? Ganderi something, carrying a topi on his head, and so he saw this Baba stepping out of a car and walking. So he put down on the road, he put down his thela and he took Padnamaskar on the street. And look at Swami. Swami lovingly goes to him. When he gets up, he creates a gold chain and puts around his neck. So that is the entry, and Vimsanji is like watching like this, like I was a child, I remember. He comes inside, my father takes Padnamaskar, we all take Namaskar. Vimsanji also takes Namaskar, and by the time he gets up, Swami snaps a loud, a snap on his back, and quickly said, Bahut pita hai, acha nahi. I should not do that. And if Swami holds his hand and takes him inside, okay? Everyone is blessed, Swami moves around the house, and the coach is kept over there, Swami's chair, and everyone sits down and jokingly, divine joke, and Swami opens his ornament shop. You ask, Kaise hai tum, how are you, where do you come from? And then he will create vibhuti, or he will create earrings or chain. We call it Swami's divine gold shop. Jokingly, but it's not a joke, but that's what it was, and it was ever, or till Swami's last physical day. And then she looked at Hirabai ji and said, Hirabai, aaj mere liye kya gata hai? Hirabai, what are you going to sing for me today? So now Vimsanji, by the time the coffee was done and the coffee was served, Swami just had a sip and kept, and he said, usko de do. he pointed to Bhimsenji and he made him drink the coffee, and he was talking with others, giving vibhuti and all that. So my grandmother's replied, Swami, I am so blessed that every time I get a chance and seva karne ka, I get a very divine chance to have a seva for you. Today, if you will permit this Pandit Bhimsen Joshi over here, from our Gharana, from the same lineage of the style of singing, can sing 2 songs for you. Swami said, fine, no problem. By the time Bhimsenji was normal, that, the other intoxication was getting on, that was the divine intoxication. And then, Bhimsenji with a style, he will put on his chest and he started Panduranga bhajans. And Swami was casually sitting like that, enjoying, looking around here, the house like that. And when he heard Bhimsenji's voice, he was like looking at Bhimsenji. Okay, or Tukaram Maharaj ka gao. Sing one more of Tukaram Maharaj. Like that he made him sing 2-3 bhajans. Then he asked, do you know any Purandardasa bhajan? So he said, Swami, I have not got my book. Abhi, you listen, I will sing now. So he sang a Purandardasa bhajan, and then Swami said, now you fix that, come to Puttaparthi and sing for Dasara. Appointment done. So that's how, our house was blessed with this thing. This was another one of the darshans. That young boy sitting is me. Next to behind me is my grandmother. I remember Swami coming down over there and asking me my name. I said Nishikant. He said Nishikant or Nishikanta? Go and sit in the boys. I was told discipline. But yeah, if you want to sit that side, you can see the slides if you don't mind. Yeah, you can see the slides. So Bal Vikas. Definitely, of course, when we were in the fold, Bal Vikas, And those times, Bal Vikas was not so, I can't say organized, but of course, it was more informal and more, out of love, more Vedas were done, and singers and speakers were given a chance. So we were always to get a chance. This was in Mumbai, and on stage, we had a small music program for Swami as kids, Bal Vikas kids. And then after us, there was a big recital, a big music program, nobody else than Pandit Ravishankar himself and Ustad Tabla himself. So we were, after doing our small program of 10-15 minutes, we didn't know where to go, we were just standing over there. So Swami blessed them, blessed Pandit Ravishankar on stage and came down. It was quite far, this was the stadium. So Swami pointed us and said, come. And there was, Swami's throne kept over there, and the diagram you can see the rangoli made out of it was like Bharat's Nakasha, India's map. Yeah. So Swami made us sit inside the map, sit in this map. And then we were in awe, because to look at Swami or to look at, we used to look at Swami, Swami used to say, look in the front, look at what they are doing. So I never dreamt in my life that the person playing tabla is going to be my guru. So that's how it was. Well, now going ahead, several occasions Pandit Srimati Hirabai ji got chances to perform for Swami, and for big occasions like those times used to be like 3-4 days of maybe a week of Dasara festival, all that, especially Dasara. Now we can see MS Subbalakshmi ji also. So in one of these occasions, they were in the same festival, and one day before MS ji sang for Swami, amazingly, mellifluously. Next day was Hirabai's turn. So when MS ji finished singing, Swami went on the stage and pointed, look, that is Hirabai sitting, because the crowd was huge. Hirabai is sitting there. So, and tomorrow she is going to sing. So I want tomorrow, after Hirabai's solo performance, you together sing someone's song. Make a song ready for tomorrow. That was what the instruction given to MSG. Well, next day Hirabai ji was also, of course, they sat together and they prepared a Hirabai bhajan. Chalo mana Ganga Jamuna thi, Ganga Jamuna Sheetala Pani. So they prepared that song, and Hirabai ji did her solo piece, and then MSG was called on. So they both sang together this song, And another Jogi Mataja, Mataja, Mataja. It was a very famous song in those old times. I forgot the Omkarnath Thakur, Pandit Omkarnath Thakur used to sing that song, and Swami used to love that. I am talking about, my grandmother's childhood time, so we were not even existing that time. Okay, so they both sang, and Swami was very happy, and just as the last crescendo was happening over the final fast speed of, that song, Swami went on stage, and they say that with both hands waving like this, Swami created 2 chains in 2 hands and gave both of them a chain each. And they were not golden chains, they were spatik mala, spatik chains. So that was one of the great moments. This was one of my grandmother's last physical meet in Vrindavan, 84. Well, this you can see Ustad Allah Rakhaji and many other people along with I am also there in the picture. So, before going ahead, as every time we used to go yearly or maybe twice a year we used to go to Puttaparthi. Swami every time used to give interview and say, Pucho kya chahiye, ask what you want. First answer, Swami, I want to be a student. Wait, I'll tell you, I'll tell you. And that other things used to happen and that question was never answered. Time went by, but he told me, yes, you study Tabla. So we started doing that, and he told Ustad Allah Rakha in English, because I used to learn with some other teacher, Ustad Ghulam Rasul Khan, he passed away. So then Swami said, you learn with Ustad Allah Rakha. So as I was growing and my, school time finished, I was in 10th, and again, asking Swami, please be, kya chahiye, what do you want? Swami, I want to be a student. Thera banata hai, karta hai. 12th gone by, college gone by, then by the time Ustad Ji's training for me was going more intensely, then I completed my college and then I gave up after my BComs. And then full time I was a student of Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab for almost a decade. So travelings happened and all that. So this photograph as you see over here, this was in Kerala. Why I especially put this on there's a special reason. It was 1999 and Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab was to be felicitated along with 2 or 3 others percussionists of the country, top percussionists of the country, through the hands of the president of the country that time in Trivandrum, Kerala. So I was told by Zakirji that because Abbaji was quite old and elderly and he was not keeping well, so I was asked to accompany him. So everywhere we went, tablas were always there with us, of course, because that was part and parcel of our listening. So I went along with him and, somehow his health went wrong. And he said, today I won't be able to perform because my health is not good. And you play tabla in place of me. Now that was really shocking because in our Hindustani culture, any culture, to play in place of Guru, it never happens. Guru is Guru. So I just refused. I said, no. He said, no, you have to play tabla. There's a reason. I'll talk in Hindi and then exactly his punchline word. आज जो सत्कार हो रहा है वो मेरा नहीं, वो तबले का सत्कार है और तबला बजना चाहिए. The felicitation not about me, it's the felicitation of the instrument tabla. So tabla has to be played and you have to play. I won't be able to play, you play. So he quickly guided me. Those were some quick green room shots and the last one on the stage over there. So now other percussionists were also Ustad Allah Rakha of their own drums. Kedak ke Vadyam and Tawil and all that. And I was like watching them and looking for the first time. I not even know, and I'm going to suddenly accompany them. So now, and I was told the president of the country is going to be there. So all you can imagine the pressure and the tension I am having in my mind. Of course, in the interviews we used to ask Swami questions about that. Swami stage pe baithte to sometimes we get tension, sometimes we get nervous. What to do? First thing he said, if your practice is proper, there is no need to nervous. Practice has to, riyaz has to be there properly. Yes, you see luminaries, you see the big crowd, or you get a little nervous, but then remember me, think about good things, think about your practice time, and you will succeed. So we were behind the screen, we are on the stage now, the curtain is yet to open, and the program is about to begin. I am like really hyper, trying to bring Swami very hard, Swami, really very nervous. Now in another few seconds the curtain is going to go up. So before that I had requested my Guru, at least you please be on the stage, even if because that would give me some kind of solace. He had given me tips what to do, what not to do. But anyway, so I prayed, and when I waited for the curtain to, I just opened my eyes, and lo and behold, I got a beautiful darshan of Bhagwan Baba standing there with both his Varada Hasta. Well then, that's it. I got my power, I got my energy, and I closed my eyes and I started playing. It went on. I don't know what happened, how it was, which style it was, what I played, that's not the point. After everything was done, back at home when we were having dinner with Guruji, he said, I was there, I was like, do not know what to say. He said, "Theek ho jaya tumne." He was like giving a compliment, "Theek ho jaya tumne." It is not us, it is Bhagwan Baba. So, so many tests and situations he will create. Now he was, everyone knows how much love Swami had for music. You can see all the big luminaries over there. Pandit Nishikant in that picture. We have Anup Jalota, Bhimsen ji, Yeshudas ji, and some Carnatic players. So many functions, so many artists. Everyone was blessed. Everyone was just wanting one thing, and that is Swami, and to get a chance to be offering our seva to Swami. Now coming to Pandit Ustad Zakir Hussain ji, people must be, many of you might be knowing that for Swami's 70th birthday, there was a big festival happening called Spirit of India Concerts. And it was a series of concerts everywhere, in Hyderabad, in Mumbai, here and there, but the finale was in Puttaparthi, 1991. And gala of artists were there. Pandit Shivakumar Sharma, Bhimsen ji, Jasraj ji, Hariprasad ji, Ravi Shankar ji, Ustad Alaka, Zakir ji, all were there. What happened was that day, their flight got late. Ustad Alaka and Zakir ji's flight got late by some few hours, and the program had already started. So they reached when the last item was being going on in the Purnachandra Hall at 11 o'clock at night. Let me come back again. 11 o'clock at night, the last item was happening. And Swami sitting over there and enjoying. And somebody came and told Swami, wo Ustad Allah Rakha Zakir Hussain hai, usko bulao. And they were made to play as the last item after that. So they went on the stage along with Ustad Sultan Khan, the great Sarangi maestro. And they played, they thrilled the audience, and Swami was in bliss. After like 40-45 minutes, the program was done. Swami climbs on the stage and creates a beautiful bracelet for Ustadji, Allah Rakha Kansa. And mementos were given, and Zakirji was standing in the wings like this. So he called him like this, come. So Zakirji went very calmly like that, and he touched his feet. And again, Swami, there's the same kind of a snap, he did to Zakirji like that, on his back. And whispered something in his ear. Who? Bhagwan Baba in Zakir Hussainji's ear. And he was like stunned for a second, and then the memento was given. And that's it. Swami goes away, and then the day is finished. Aarti is done. Later, after a couple of years, I was told by Zakirji this story that what he did was in those times also video recordings had started but audio used to be there. So he wanted that recording what happened in front of Bhagwan Baba, which as a memory that Bhagwan Baba blessing and all that. So it was given. Zakirji took it, and he took it to USA, and it was kind of screened and checked on George Lucas's studio, the producer of Star Wars, to refer to what Swami had told him in his ear, which nobody knew because Zakirji didn't tell what it was. And when I got the story from Mrs. Zakirji that, as I said, this has happened, I asked Zakirji, what was all that about? Then he said, when I touched Swami's feet and I got up, Swami spoke in my ear that, listen very carefully, this is a very technical thing of Tabla. At one point of time, you were 1/10 of a second slower than Ustadji. At one point of time means when, in the musical thing there is a sum, there is a main the main beat where it begins and it finishes, you were 1/10 of a second slower than your father. So he was very curious and my God, Swami, so he just not as a checkup, but he got it and he wanted to go, and he found at one place, it was exactly in that digitalized thing, 1/10 of a second slower than his father. That is Bhagwan Baba. What can we imagine? Who's telling whom? The God, Parabrahman, Brahmanda Nayak Baba. So I thought I should share this with you. And of course, history repeats that, many a times suddenly we used to get a chance, and Swami used to say that once in a while, many artists used to come, so they used to be given interviews after next day of the program. So I was very fortunate to be pulled in and called in also. Sometimes I used to play, sometimes I'm just there. So I want to share something about what Swami has said about bhajan to the artists, which is not printed or thing. This is in the interview room in a private audience only for the artists, but I can share. Pandit Shivkumar Sharma, the great Santur maestro, had come along with Pandit Ustad Shafat Ahmad Khan, another great tabla player. Now it's no more, now nobody's anybody there. And they had a program, an offering in front of Bhagwan. I think it was Mahashivratri or some program, some festival was there. And Swami, before their concert, gave a beautiful discourse, a short discourse of 10 minutes. And then he says, now program hai, now all of you listen. In Telugu he said. And then he came back to the mic and he said, if you want to experience divinity in music, listen to Shiv Kumar. That was what Swami said. And he went back and sat on his seat, and Shiv Kumar ji enthralled the audience as you won't believe. And Swami was in place. Swami created some, chain or something and vibhuti and all. After that, Swami so Swami hai. He called about 2-3 boys, bhajan boys, I think Ravi or Venkatesh, somebody was there. And he said, okay, Sri Raghavan, you sing Sri Raghavan. So they sang those 2 bhajans, and they cracked. I mean, these guys, they had the aces ready, Swami's boys, aces ready are there. And the whole scenario changed, it was already, everyone was elevated over there, but these 2 bhajans took us even somewhere else. Next day, in the interview room, when they were given interview, I was part and parcel to be seated over there. General talk was there, how his family and all that, vibhuti creation, Swami is giving vibhuti. And then, he asked Shiv Kumar, Pucho, tumko kuch puchna hai. Ask me, you have something in your mind. So, with folded hands, he said, Swami, yesterday program बहुत अच्छा हुआ ऐसे आपने बोला. Yesterday the program went very well. You blessed us in a beautiful way. But those 2 boys who sang bhajans took us even beyond what we even imagined. What was that? How is that? 2 bhajans they sang. This Swami smiled. This Swami smiled like that. And then Swami was telling, Bharat, they were looking at us young people, they were sitting over there. What is Bharat? Bharat is India. Then Swami said, no, Bhava Raga Tala. And then he clearly said, you have to start from Tala, Raga and then Bhava. Nobody will tell you this is the extension, real what, because I was there physically present over there. You have to start from Tala, then Raga and then Bhava. So Swami said you have to have proper training, at least basic some training has to be there. Suddenly Bhav is not going to come like that. It's not going to drip like that. Okay, you cry for Swami, that's a Bhav, but that's a different way of Bhav. Only crying and having only Karuna Rasa songs for Bhav is bhajans is not only just having too much great bhav. You can create bhav having kawali also in the same manner. It's a forceful, different kind of a throughout of a song, of a voice, but it also has bhav. So this misconception is that only Sai Bhajans can create, but no, it's not like that. Sai Bhajan is that, that piece, that beautiful, topping of the whole cake. But there are so many other genres in music which can create that bhav. It takes time because it is the connection of the purity of the singer, his connection with Bhagwan, and then the listener who is connected with the musician. Otherwise, no connection is there. If you go for a concert and my chappal is outside, the whole concert I'm wondering where is my chappal is going to go off. I'm just giving an example. My car is parked, I don't know if the police have taken the car. India is very famous for that. So that kind of thing is not there. So sometimes we feel, otherwise, if you go for a concert or you buy a ticket, you go and sit, and your mind is still there in the car or somewhere there, and the musician is doing his work fantastically. We go back home and say, musician ka maza nahi hai, uska mood nahi laga aaj. The listener, because he was not in that mood to listen, he is saying, no, a musician was not in that mood. It was okay concert. In fact, the musician was at his best maybe that day. So that connection has to be there. Okay? So, same thing happens with bhajan also. When we come for bhajan, when we go for an American visa interview, how do we stand and how do we behave? Let me ask you, let me be blunt about this. We are, best, nicely dressed, very simple. I am trying to put my image in such a way that I am a true follower of blah 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 of American thing, and I am going to be following all your rules and full 100% attention to what the visa officer is saying. Why not for bhajans? I am just giving an example, sorry. Bhajan is not just a sensual pleasure. Mera jagado dharana gaya, it's such a nice thing. That's just the sensual level. That's only the upper crust. Because I know the bhajan, I like the bhajan. You have to get involved in the bhajan while listening and participating, but uske pehle, before that, all that procedure has to be done in that manner. The preparation, the mental preparation, हमारा बाह्य ज़्यादा है अंतर से. Our outer is more important. How we clothe, are we wearing clothes, how in which car we are coming, am I in time, that's fine. Are we ready from inside to do that and accept that? Because unless and until it's not from inside, it's just bahya, it's just outer, just the shell. That's all Swami used to say. So for bhajans, when we decide that okay, I'm going for bhajans, we shut off our mobiles, we do all this thing and fine, and So let's focus on the bhajan. Let's shut our eyes, try to know the notes. Now in almost every center we have bhajan lyrics given over there. Everything is so nicely done with microphones. I'm talking about those times when nothing was there. It was just like, one after another bhajans are happening. But now everything is organized in a way that it's amazing. All gadgets are there, everything is there, headphones are there, mobiles are there, everything is there. So what we need to do for bhajans is that, we should prepare mentally. Okay, care bhajan. Now when we think of samiti, activity, any activity, unless and until, we are all devotees, we are all followers of Bhagwan, we are trying to follow his message as part-time. He doesn't want part-time devotion. Basically, Swami has recently said, recently means it's become, Amayoli has said recently in one of the talks, Swami doesn't want devotion. He said this many times. Devotion is just the first stage, or pahli pairi, first step to climb the spirituality. And of course, bhajan is the first step of, pulling devotees to Bhagwan Baba, and also the last step. Because when we start with the bhajan, we do all the activities, webinar and seva, coaching, this, that, everything. We come back and finally again do the bhajan and arti. So it's the beginning and the end, that's a sum. So I call bhajan as the sum of the entire musicality of Bhagwan Baba's philosophy. That's what I feel about bhajans. That is so important. Because that's how you are pulled in, our minds are there. So when we are there, yes, try to figure out, try to imagine or visualize the deity. Everyone is not a singer, everyone is not a tabla player, everyone is not into music, but still that divine magic, that recipe of Bhagwan Baba Sai Bhajans is so amazing that everyone is haunted, divinely haunted. So participating in bhajans, then other activities, is equally important, because just going to Swami and having lessons and coming back and I did my chore, I'm done my chore, now Swami has to do this chore. So it's up to you, it's your take, how you take it. Because nobody here is a newcomer. I mean, if there are newcomers, we can also have certain other points. But now we are there in the field, we are giving so much time. Why don't we more, give more focus on what exactly are we here for? And of course, that's how bhajans, play a big role in that. That antaratma gets cleansed. Another thing, quick, before going ahead. These are some concerts, pictures suddenly called on stage, and without rehearsal, Zakirji made us play some of few concert pictures along with other artists. Bhagwan Baba's birthday, Sevadal times, and Bhagwan Baba is to, after the Sevadal of the 7 days or 15 days, Swami used to bless everyone physically. So very fortunate to be there. Now some of the concerts with Bhimsenji, and I will come to Bhimsenji a little later. So how much time we have? We have time, right? Yeah. So as I was telling about the musicality of it, there's one point I would like to share. I was talking about Bharata. So Swami has said, when you listen to a bhajan, you are listening to may it be in Prasanthi or any other center or even your home, but especially when it's organized, it's nicely, systematically done. Nicely means what? With full discipline. Discipline is the first thing we have to follow. As we said, we all know that we come in time, we said, we prepare, all the basic things. But he wants something more dedication, he wants more to get us more, into Swami's fold and get us transformed. So what he says that a bhajan singer is singing bhajan. Now the responsibility of the bhajan singer, that also is there. But I am not a bhajan singer, but being in the fold for so many years and what Swami has told, I am just sharing that to you. Because Swami has said many times, many things to many people. So one of this was that Swami said that when you are listening to a bhajan sitting in the, you are sitting at the back and you are in the bhajan timings, the bhajan is going, darshan is happening, or you are sitting in a samiti. The bhajan singing is singing out of such love, such pining for God, such, bhava, such expression, that sometimes, a tear appears in your eye. Sometimes you feel something is churning in your heart. Sometimes you feel very exhilarated, you get very excited, you feel like you are feeling very happy. So what is happening with all these things? So Swami has said that bhajan singer or even on the musician in overall, because music has that capacity. Music is not only for the, as I said earlier, not for nice hearing, good sound, very cute, very beautiful voice, very beautiful. That's just the technical or the sensual part of it. It penetrates you and it is actually a therapy happening to you. That's just what I say, especially with bhajans. When we hear bhajans, there are so many bhajans happening in 1 hour, like what, 14, 15 bhajans, I don't know, number is not important. Every bhajan has a different raga. Every bhajan is mostly having different deities, right? And different tempos, different bhava, different speeds, different moods. So when we are hearing that, along with us there are in the devotees, what Swami used to say, especially in Prasanthi Nilayam. We used to sometimes in the summer, in Kulwant Hall, now they have a little bit fans and all that, but that time, I'm talking about February, March, April, May, unbearable heat, and everybody is like perspiring, So sometimes I used to look up and make a wave like that, and open that cantilever shelter of the whole Kulwant Hall, that shelter is to go back half of it, and we used to feel so relieved, bhajan boys. Oh, Swami is so kind, he's opened this thing for, now we can get some air. We were fools, we were not knowing what Swami is wanting to do. We were only thinking about our own comfort. some air is coming. He says, Swami, so they are so loving Swamis. But only this much we know Swami, no? We don't know about what Swami intends to do. What happens is that then Swami said, in one of the, when he was explaining and talking to some of the group of musicians, he said that when you sing or when bhajans are being sung, the singer, may it be in a group or a single solo, whatever it is, but especially Swami loves when, Samagana Rola, Swami, that's what he's called. He loves to have everything sing in groups. But unless and until the leader, if he's not in the Shruti, not in the technical aspect of lay, or pronunciation is not correct, or speeds, everything, unnecessary too much sargams, unnecessary too much gamakas. That's why Prasanthi bhajans have to be more simple, more straight. Maybe we can talk more about it tomorrow if possible. If you guys are coming, we will share more about that. So the responsibility of the bhajan singer is that he is taking you along that journey of that bhajan, is that glory of that deity is been sung in front of Bhagwan Baba. Maybe there is a picture of Rama or Krishna or deity or something like that. The Murti is there. But then you shut your eyes and you imagine. And when the glory has been sung, you chant along with that. In chorus, you sing along with the bhajan. It doesn't matter if you are sur or not sur. That's why everyone is not given a mic. Right? But you can clap and you can sing. Try to sing it. Doesn't matter. Because finally Swami said that the bhajan singer, if he gets connected to the divine, miracle happens. Because he is the leader, bhajan singer. The whole group, not just the singer, but the whole group, tabla player, harmonium player. It's part and part, it's one team, but it should be in one, everyone should be in one as one. The bhajan singer becomes the connect with Bhagwan, and if you get connected with the bhajan singer, what happens? You are connected by the bhajan singer to Bhagwan. So he becomes the medium. So that's it. So now Bhagwan, we can't see him physically as, now the form is not there. So now it is even actually easier because we can feel Swami everywhere. We can see in our antar atma, in our inner vision, in our mind. You shut your eyes and you say Sathya Sai and or Swami and you can see a picture of Bhagwan Baba. So the same thing, that's the responsibility of the bhajan singer. In that correctness, in that love, in that bhav, that bhajan has to be omitted, has to come out. So when Bhimsenji used to sing, everyone might not be knowing Pandit Bhimsen Joshi ji, on stage he looked very kind of aggressive, but his voice was very mellifluous and soft. He used to do all kinds of movements and all, and his microphone was there, not like our Prasanthi bhajan voice here. Excuse me. I'm not comparing that, but his voice was so loud and like a lion that I will tell you my personal I'm nothing in front of all these people. I'm just a small tabla player. We got many times, 25-30 times to accompany him on the stage as in classical, as in bhajans and all that. Can you imagine, at one point of time, I was thrown away by his voice. I was on tabla and he used to make us sit. Bhimsenji in classical, as a baitak we call it, Like, if this is Bhimsenji, he used to pull the tabla very close to him like that, sit next to me, the harmonium player next to me. And the microphones were not that whatever it was. Now everything is very subtle. So his stance and his voice was so loud and his hands used to go like that, like that. And at one point of time I was playing Vilambi Dektal. Now if she is here, so if she knows what I am talking about, Tinta, very slow movement of Hindustani khayal singing like ti, ra, ki. It is going very slow because the rag is being unfolded in a beautiful manner and then it goes fast. So and then the tan and the bharat starts. So at one point of time when he was like going in the bharat, suddenly he made a tan like that. You won't believe it. I was actually thrown back with that loudness of the sound. It was not just a scream, but that kind of power was there, energy was there. So we have experienced all these things. So when Bhimsenji, in the say around 2000 time, that year, underwent a very big operation open brain tumor operation, and medically it is like very very serious and difficult to do. So I happened to be in Parthi. I was not settled there yet. This was in the late 90s, and whenever I used to go to South India for a concert, I used to drop by in Prasanthi, have darshan of Swami, and then go by, or maybe for Sevadal or whatever. So at one of such visits, I went to Prasanthi after some concerts, and I got a room, I put my luggage and all that, and because I was fortunate to teach the boys officially and unofficially like that, and I went to the mandir for bhajans. The moment Swami saw me, Swami looked at me and said, "Come." I was called into the interview room. I was like, my God, I have just walked in Prasanthi and Swami is calling me. I was like on cloud 9. My God. So immediately, without wasting time, Swami created, lots of vibhuti, full handful of vibhuti like this. And he was looking for papers. So in the interview room, there are some papers over there. So I put out the paper. Swami made a whole packet out of it. And he said, "This is not for you, this is for Bhimsen. Go and give him now." Go. The way he said go, I was like, he said go. So from there, I went back to Pune. I do not know how I got my ticket. I go to the railway station, Dharmavaram I'm talking, not even Prasanthi there. Somebody is waiting for a ticket, I want to cancel this ticket. I said, where do you want to go? Where is it? It is still Pune. I am getting a reserved seat. I go to Pune. I call my parents and they say, yes, there is an operation happening and we run to so and so hospital. The operation is there. So it's nearby the station. I go there and the lift is not working, or maybe it is busy. So I'm climbing the stairs and running up. And when I reached the operation theatre, one of the ward boys, somebody was helping me show it's like that. Pandit Bhimsenji, when I reached that floor, suppose that is there, the lights over there, that's the entrance of the OT, the operation theatre. I am running towards the operation theatre, and from the other side, the stretcher on which Bhimsenji is coming from the other side. This is Swami's timing. I just ran and gave vibhuti to him and his family, and I said, Bhagwan Baba has given this to you. Bhimsenji was already having all those IV and pipe and this and that, and his doctor was there. He said, Lava Chatila, he said, apply on my chest and give something. He was in his mouth, some vibhuti was given, on his chest the vibhuti was rubbed, on his forehead. And then he looks at the doctor and he says one dialogue. One sentence he says, "Abhi to mujhe maar ke dikha." That is devotion. That means now you can't kill me. Swami has given me vibhuti. So in that moment of time, at that seriousness also, Bhimsenji is so comfort and he's joking. It's like a joke. Come on, it's the divine joke. But that's how Bhimsenji was connected with Bhagwan Baba. The story I am telling is nothing about Nishikant. It is about how Swami used to deal with us. Nishikant is nobody over here. Well, several occasions in which we got to perform along with Pandit Bhimsenji, Jasaraji, Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahab. Many a times it was even not decided, and Swami used to say, "Tum iske saath karo, iske saath tabla karo." I do not even sometimes used to know who's the artist. I do not know what's happening. I'll give you a quick example, not in this picture, it's there. Once similarly I went and in Prasanthi I reached, and I was sitting in darshan in the general audience, in the general gent side. Swami looked at me from there and said, "Come here. Sham ko kacheri karta hai. In the evening there is a program, tum tabla karo." Before even expressing anything, and he walks by. That's it. Now I do not know who the artist is, from where they are, what kind of genre of music it's going to be there. So I find out when in those times secretaries and all, they used to be all over the town. Anyway, so I found out that everyone is practicing in Purnachandra Hall. So I went over there with my tablas, because Swami said you have to play with that and I can do some rehearsal, right? I go over there and see there's a beautiful choir, Western choir from Holland and England, Europe. And just watching them, and I took out my tablas, and this lady was conductor. She looked at me and said, what is it? So after that song practice finished, I went and humbly said, look, Swami has asked me to perform along with this today's program. What do you do? Do you sing? So, no, I play tabla. What is tabla? So I said, whatever, if I get a chance, let me at least be seated over there. I will just sit, let Swami look at me, that's all. I might not even play. But when Swami says, go and do, you have to do it. She said, I do not know. I said, okay, fine. But then later they got a message, whatever it was. And that I don't have that picture. But all of them standing there and they're very high pitch. And I'm doing tabla. I don't know if the mic is not working or working. And Swami is like, So this is what Swami was. And it's not about Nishikant. It's about how Swami is to make that thing happen and enjoy. Even if a Barodekar student or any cute, well, the other side of the story also there. Ashadi Ekadashi, one of the famous Maharashtrian fun festivals we still celebrate. But in the when it initially started, Vimsen used to be around there. I used to get to participate and perform along with him. And I had practiced the songs for this Barodekar's SSC kids, and with the tabla and dholak and all that. And suddenly Bhimsenji's concert came in between. That he was there, and then Ashadi was 4 days after Guru Purnima. And suddenly Swami said, Bhimsen, abhi tu ja mat. It's the other way around. Ashadi was before and then the Guru Purnima. So I had practiced for Guru Purnima program. Suddenly Bhimsenji comes in and I was asked to perform. And after the Ashadi festival, Swami said, Bhimsenji, you wait and sing for Guru Purnima also. After that permission, you sing for Guru Purnima also. Now, Nishikant here is practice with the kids over there. Suddenly Nishikant gets a chance to perform along with Pandit Bharat Ratna Bhimsen Joshi. So when the practice session was there, I said, okay, no, you play, you will get a chance. It's not about ego, but maybe some part of ego. I don't deny. And my colleague who also is playing, so he practiced. Okay, fine. When Ashadi came and when the boys, those children were practiced and I had practiced along with them, I just sat along with them and let somebody else play. After first time, Swami looked at me and said, you do it. Just with this ishara, this is sign. I got an electric jolt. Oh my God, what blunder I have made. I should have not done this. Because sometimes you have that kind of a thing in your mind. So I'm confessing it, really and truly, that even if whatever happens, one look at Swami, one look of Swami, and one even a thought of Swami can change your lives. From that day onwards, we all have decided, not for me at least, that whatever happens, whether it be any small devotee, nobody small, musically young or whatever, we are there all the time. So, Begum Parveen Sultana, Swami used to love her singing. Some of the music festivals, this was very fun, beautiful. One of the occasions, rather there was no occasion, and Pandit Jasraji just visited Swami. It was a normal week, there was no festival, anything like that. Programs happen only when the festivals are there. So Panditji came and Panditji sat over there and he was like wanting to have darshan. Swami looked at him, blessed him, that's it. But he wanted more out of Swami, he wanted Swami to talk to him or maybe interview. And then he started saying, I'm here for 2-3 days, can I be able to sing? So all these things were tried and all that, but Chakravarti sir and the trustee said, unless there is a festival, and unless Swami decides, we can't take any decision. Now he has seen you, and Swami will decide what to do. So, Chakravarti sir said, Nishikant, you do one thing because Swami might talk to you. You write a letter to Swami that Pandit Jasraj is here, he wants to sing. I said, I'm not going to do that thing. Swami has seen. But we call it, Baba ke peech mein fielding lagao. That's what it was. 2 boys sitting here, 2 boys sitting over there, in that corner, Swami stops over there. Okay, maybe when he slows down, quickly show the letter. Some other musicians were also there, some other boys, So, we were part and parcel of that. Swami is the judge of everything, the judge of the universe. So I got to show that to Swami. And Swami, I feel like laughing out. Acha, Jasraj hai? Is he here? I think, he's like trying to, acknowledge my kind of that later. Acha, क्या कैसा है क्या है like this, when such things happen, Swami is, we call it Swami Pirki le rahe. Swami is like taking a trip out of you. We used to just touch Swami's feet. Swami, that's it. We can't say anything more. अच्छा, okay, बात करते हैं. I will talk to him. Then in the evening darshan, in the morning darshan, next day Swami came and spoke to him. How long we are staying, all that, and then he said, Jasraj, क्या करता है? Festival नहीं है. और भी 4-5 आर्टिस्ट है, तुमको चांस दिया तो उसको बुरा लगेगा. What to do, Jasraj? There's no festival. If I give you a chance, 2-3 other musicians also waiting, they will feel bad. So how can we do? I know you want to sing. Very lovingly, very as if like friend is talking to. So Jasraj is like, okay, whatever one is saying. And then he made him sing bhajans in the Prasanthi bhajans. He made him sing bhajans during the Prasanthi bhajans. Sing to Mirabai bhajans. So that's how it was. How big you are, how great you are, nothing falls in place unless Swami wills whatever to happen. We have seen some clips because nowadays Radio Swami is doing such a beautiful, wonderful job, making small, big clips, coming out with small extracts and giving a message of what Swami is doing, and having a beautiful recording of bhajans and all. So we have seen so many new clips which we never get to see them. So at randomly he's giving darshan, and I think in Vrindavan he saw two musicians sitting over there and he made them sing at randomly without any accompanist or something. So Swami was always very uncertain about all this. He's always very uncertain. This was one of the great moments in Army 2007 Chennai. Army means Atirudra Mahayadne, Swami's army. And this was my first trip, in fact, along with Bhagwan Baba. And we were only 6-7 of us, and Anil Kumar sir and the usual the rest of the seniors were there. So I was put up along with Anil Kumar sir because it was my first trip, and Anil Kumar sir everyone knows. He is like, great soul. And otherwise, his nature and his behavior and his whole, that spirit, that happy spirit, he could not sit quiet for more than 10-15 minutes. He had to laugh out. He had to make cut out some joke out of it. Example, those times Bhagwan Baba used to walk and the bhajans are happening, and then he used to come and sit on his throne. So Anil Kumar sir used to sit right very close by to the bhajan boys during bhajan. And Anil Kumar sir used to love to play Dafli, the Kanjira. So we used to be there and all that. So Anil Kumar sir used to borrow the Kanjira. He used to take the Kanjira and he used to imitate as if he's playing great Kanjira. Sound is not coming. Only is doing like this. Like that he's doing. Bhajans are doing, hey, Shiva Shankar, and he's looking at it, because Swami is not yet there. Swami is yet to come out in darshan. The boys, why is to do? We used to wonder why is they doing all that. So the kids from the school, first standard, second standard, they're sitting in front and not dozing. They're tired, they're waiting for 1 hour, 2 hours, and then Swami is coming for darshan. But by the time the kids used to be tired, so when Anil Kumar sir started doing that, they used to be pepped up like that, So it was, we later understood, not for you, for those kids, they have to keep them awake. When Swami comes in there, if they find some sleeping, or you pop them, then they used to make all that kind of faces. So this was one of the occasions when suddenly Swami summoned Ashwath Narayan and my name to come to Swami's room. And I was new to this thing, and I was just told by then we can say, one of the trustees, V. Sri Srinivasan, that go and do Swami's Pada Seva. The moment I entered, the first thing I saw that Swami was sitting in a hospital wheelchair. I was really not very happy about it. Then that thing lingered in my mind, but that was answered after a few other visits. But then when we started doing, now it was the first time for me to get a chance to touch the divine field. We used to get opportunities, but to actually do the seva, Pada Seva. I mean, when I was like thinking, oh my God, this is such a great moment. Immediately this bhajan comes in front of me. Sheetala charanam, komal charanam. So I am holding Swami's feet and like very delicately doing it very softly, like, you know. After 2 minutes of doing that, suddenly Swami looked at me and said, "Hey, kar raha hai, saapad mat do?" He said, "Khana nahi khayega." I was like, my God, this is a different kind of Swami. Come on. So I started doing it as a tabla player, you know, thoda grip acha hota hai, nice grip is there. So I started doing, wow, that's nice. So, you know, this was one of the moments. See, these are the things, you know, these are the things normally we don't get to see or hear as in regular darshans or in bhajans when we see Swami from, you know, far away, sometimes close by. So it's our duty to just share that joy. It's not about, again, not about any Nishikant or Ashwat. It's about that joy, that opportunity, that lesson, you know, the Swamis to guide us through. Yeah, these are the several visits along with Bhagwan Baba. And they are mixed, all of them. Mumbai, Pune, Harshi, everything is mixed over there. Especially Harshi, the one at the left bottom over here, was Swami's dining table, and we all are sitting over there. Now that's a very difficult task. If anyone has gone to Harshi and seen that ashram, it's so beautifully done. It's in the hills, beautifully decorated, and the way it is designed, the architecture is amazing. Which behind they have a small hill, it resembles like a Shivlinga. It's in the hills, 40 kilometers from Pune. The inauguration time, 3 days Swami was going to be there. And the first day there was a sequence of songs. The second day Swami's speech was there. The third day another, and then the fourth day we go to Mumbai. So normally what used to happen that, you know, the people, Mr. Jadhav who had built that ashram, I mean, great devotees of Swami, absolutely like staunch devotees, and the way in the which, and the manner in which they had created that whole thing, it was just amazing. And they had a separate kind of a, you know, a silver lined chair for Swami, a table special for Swami. So whenever you travel with Swami, the food part was always, there was always a garata or a hangama over there. Not garata, hangama over there. You know, always some kind of mischief or some kind of happening over there. So normally during that visit, we had all the seniors, you know, the trustees and Swami's guests. So they were allowed to sit along with Swami on Swami's dining table. Okay? And we elders, few of us, me, myself, maybe Ravi was there, or Ravi Teja. I'm not talking Ravi Kumar, Ravi Teja. 2-3 of us were given duty to serve this seniors. Swami we are not supposed to, only Sathya, what's her name? This lady was there, who was a very senior lady, who was in Swami's ashram. I mean, she used to cook for Swami. I forgot her name. I will, anyway, so we are not supposed to serve Swami, only the people. So 1 day, 2 day, all that, you know, 2 times we did. The second day, suddenly Swami asked me to give a talk in front of the audience, where Swami was designed to give a discourse. So that whole afternoon, evening, we were talking about, Swami was talking about how great the artists sung, all that. And then I was again called in and Swami talked to me about Maharashtra. I am in Pune, we were in Pune, and in the audience, inside the ashram, Swami said, "Where do you stay?" So now I am thinking about Pune, so I am telling my Pune address. I am talking about Puttaparthi, he's saying. Because I am from Pune and he's asking my address in Pune. I thought he was asking my address from Pune, but he wanted me to be, that's how it was. And then he called for me to talk, so I gave a small talk over there. And when the Swami's beautiful speech was there, and the day was done, Aarti was done, we came back to the residence. Now coming back to the residence, as usual, the seniors sat along with Swami, and we were supposed to serve. Suddenly again Swami pointed and called me out. I thought Swami is saying something about program or something like that. He put his hand on my shoulder and said, ask them to get up, everyone to get up. I was not knowing what to say. So everyone got off the chair from Swami's table and they were like standing aside. And then Swami said, you guys sit over here on the chair. Now that is risky, that it's not possible to sit alongside with Swami on the chair on his, no. Only called few people like that, okay, sit over here. So sit, Swami said, kucha. It's a difficult task. I mean, to sit along with Swami in the chair, kabhi sapne mein bhi nahi sir, we can't even dream. Who are we? What to Swami? But Swami, like, touched my hand and said, sit. You have to, like, we are sitting in a corner, like, stunned, like, and we all of us, 5, 6 of us sat, and he made all the seniors to serve us. That was even more, Again, it's not about Nishikant. There's some message coming. Now Swami is sitting just like 2-3 feet away, and you are not supposed to look at Swami. That's normal. Swami gets embarrassed. He's like a child. Like, he'll just have a small thing and he will make us have all the things. So we have to finish, because unless you finish, Swami is not going to get up. So we have to finish all these things. Now it was so difficult. I am telling about the food part of it. But when you are traveling with Swami, the most difficult thing is the food. We are overloaded, overburdened. I can say burdened with that love, but so much of there is there. And if you are even full, Swami will say, usko 4 jalebi karo. Give him 4 jalebis. Swami, 4 jalebis. No, you have to eat, and Swami will wait for that. That's his kind of love. I mean, you can't say no, why, what, we do not know. So that was one of the rare moments we were there. And then you can see in the center, this picture is from a flight, in flight. He had gone to Delhi, and from there to Shimla, back to Delhi, and from Delhi, that was the last trip of Bhagwan Baba physically, 2010. And the group of bhajan boys were there, but when Swami reached Delhi, from day one, because those guys from Delhi, they were all good singers, programs were there, and they had prepared their own songs and programs and all that. The moment we sat over there, we all reached over there, they called bhajan boys. Swami said, bhajan boys, do your program. And in our mind, Swami, it's their program. We can't tell Swami, Swami doesn't know. He knows everything. You make a program, next day again Prasanthi Bhajan program, 2-3 programs. Now we are exhausted, we have prepared only 3 programs. So every night we have to come out and prepare programs and all that. So we went to Shimla, same case, Prasanthi boys, Bhajan karo, program karo. So of course he gave chance for the local boys also. But now the time was, the whole tour is done and we are coming back from Prasanthi to Parthi. Before that, in the ashram, before leaving for the airport, again Swami calls us and says, program ready hai tumhara? Now we are returning back to Parthi. Okay, Swami says he still wants program. So, we just smiled at the Swami, didn't answer, Swami knows everything, there's something happening behind. So we all, about to board the flight in 2 hours. So, serious, we all came together and thought, Swami is asking again and again for program, what is it? Are we not doing it in a proper way, or what? Quickly again we make a list, quick listing is there, and we are ready with the program. But when? What to do? So then it came to our mind, why not we do a program in the flight? Because it's a chartered flight. Yeah? So who's going to tell whom? Now it's very difficult because you take permission from Swami, you can't just walk in like that. So, we manage with the seniors, and how difficult it is to manage with the trustees, to talk with them and to, get our things done. Hey Prasanthi boys, you've got enough chance, sir. Why again you are doing that? Let Swami be, don't let him rest. So Swami is asking for program, So somehow we got to know, and then luckily, because it was a Kingfisher flight, there was a Kingfisher airline that time. Now the Kingfisher is lost somewhere else, anyway. But we got to know the pilot, and we in Hindi we say कि वो पूरा मस्का लगाया उसको. We buttered in nice way. I said, look, Swami wants this. What is you want? I said, we want our instruments to be in the cabin back, in the cabin. That's all we want. Because it's anyway 120-seater flight and we are only like 60 or 70 of us. So they took permission and it was there, and we carried the tabla, sitar, harmonium, everything, dholak, mridangam, whatever, jitna hai na, sare, flute wale sab, everywhere. Now it's a long flight, almost 3 hours flight. Now who's going to tell Swami? Okay. So the flight, took off nicely and all that. Refreshments were served. Now everyone is looking at each other like, you start, come on, it's senior guys, because I happen to be one of the seniors. So Ravi Teja is one of our flute player, if everyone knows. Ravi Teja Bhai, Ravi Singer, Ravi Kumar, myself, 2-3 of us. So we are, holding tabla, sitar, like that, and good time to go to Swami, where Swami is sitting on the first row. Swami is to sit on the first seat, 1C, normally. And, everyone is looking at us like that, and looking, what are you doing, now we are not going to stop. We have started our yatra to Swami. If Swami wishes, let's see what's going to happen. And suddenly Swami felt that, of course, he looked at, hey, what is it, And then we all like, Swami, you had asked for program, can we do program now? Hey, crap, where are we going to sit? Where are you going to sit here? And all that, and we sat. And I won't believe the whole 40-45 minutes Swami, gave us a chance. That airplane bus was coming in, but that was a divine experience to sing for Bhagwan on 35,000 feet. One of the rarest of the occasions. Who are we? We are nobody over it. It's only mercy of Swami. It's only sheer His love. That's all. So he gave chance to everyone. Most of all the singers got a chance. We took turns by one, and it was amazing. Also the flight attendants, sometimes they can, maybe in the picture we can see them holding the trays and they're waiting. So, they were also stunned what's happening. Maybe it's not in this picture, I don't know. So, Swami wants it, Swami wants it. Yeah.
That's a video.
So this was that Harshi talk, and after the talk, this was at random. It was not scheduled. And Swami told me to talk in Marathi. My mother tongue is Marathi, but I was always into English, being in the English medium. And Swami said, talk in Marathi. So it was very difficult. Then Swami gave the hint that you talk about your grandmother. So after the talk, he created a ring. So that was one of the videos I have. Very rarely you get to have this kind of a video. Fortunately, it was there. Yeah. So next we go to the finale of the whole thing. As we come to the whole story of Bhagwan Baba, you can see and imagine with each of us he has got that connection. Each and every one. We sometimes are not aware of it. Oh no, Swami, we only know him, we see his picture, we have seen him from far, or we have he never took my letter, we never. So many things are there which we never understand and are never answered, physically. But finally, when you fall into now we are fallen fully in the fold. Let's get really in that fold and think and get immersed into Swami's message while singing. Get that message while working, while teaching, while having SSC class. Because that's what Swami has given us, that we call it Shiksha, that lesson. And it's us, all of us, who are responsible. One sentence what Swami said before Swami left his mortal coil. I am waiting for a true devotee, yet I am not finding a devotee. And then further ahead he said, yes, everyone is devoted, many of them are devoted, everything is devoted. Now it's time for God to be devoted to the devotee. He's waiting for that. Bhagwan Baba, waiting for a devotee. So that kind of devotion, that kind of transformation, that kind of, complete surrender. Complete surrender has many definitions. It doesn't only mean that leaving everything and just doing Baba and just not doing anything. No, it's not that. It's, if somebody is free or maybe retired or having full time for just doing Swami's work, great for that. But normally, as a normal practical practitioner, that's what Swami is to say. Be a practical practitioner of spirituality. Not just doing the chores. Don't make it so mechanical, or don't make it so happening. Okay, sometimes we sing Vedas, or it just happens, it comes mechanically. We forget, we look at others, and we remember the next stanza. It happens with many of all of us. But from the heart, from the inner part, we have to see that are we really trying to worship in the way he wants it? Because that's exactly what he wants. He's not here for the quantity part of it, he's for the quality part of it. If he finds that exactly thing, you are definitely blessed. And every day, this is very important. He has told several times to the students in the hostel also. He has said that we find all of us, even our own selves, saying that abhi wo connection nahi ho raha hai. I'm not getting connected with Bhagwan. I'm doing my chores, but yes, I'm not still getting that feeling. Abhi he's not looking at me. He's not blessing me. Or that not the negative part we have to keep aside. Simplest thing Swami what has said, that every day when you finish the day, actually when that's the time when you go to sleep, when you all the chores are done, you pray to Bhagwan and you go to sleep, is the time when the day starts. Actually Swami has said, when you go to sleep is the time when the divine day starts. You pray, Swami said, remember all the happenings of the day quickly in a flash, like a rewind and forward, and go through it quickly. Definitely you will find a place or two places or many places where something had happened. That is the experience. We think, oh, it's just coincidence, or it just happened there. I happened to be there, I went there, and in the crowd, the parking lot was full. I could not park. My show was already late, and suddenly the car comes out, and I get a parking lot, and I come back. It's just a normal thing. Why not? It's an experience. Anything what we feel that something is which is not so normal, and as a blessing, take it as a blessing. No experience is small. Every time we go, we travel and we talk, or people say share your experiences, share your biggest experience. There is nothing like biggest or smallest. Experience is your experience. So we need to make a habit of doing that. Rewinding our thoughts, imagining, visualizing and find out. And that's the habit we put, and then we get that hunger develop, and you start behaving in that manner. So Swami said, you are eager for an experience, do that. Then you are, whichever way which pulls you in, and which you are linked with Bhagwan Baba and his work, is what is required, that's what is wanted. So with this, these are all the blessing parts. Yeah, Aarti times. Swami coming on stage, blessing. This is recently from Radio Sai. I just happened to we must insert this video. Even before the program was finished, he walked on the stage and created and blessed with a ring and all. Sorry. That was the Ugadi time. I remember Swami. This was Vrindavan, 96 or 97. Yeah. I used to have a mush that time. Quickly, before I forget, for the youngsters, I used to keep a mush, and while going for Sevadal, one day before I used to remove the mush. Okay? And the positions used to get like Swami's residence. Okay? So naturally you have to be clean shaved, nicely, oiled hair and no mush and all that. So at one point of time, I happened to join late because I had come from somewhere else, and mush was there, and they gave me in the evening I was told you to come and join the group. So suddenly in the morning I was meant to stand over there and forgot to remove my mush. The Swami came from the, as his time, from the Purna Chandra hall. He looked at me and he went by. Normal. Second time, 2-3 darshans were happening 2-3 days. And then Swami not looking at me. So I was wondering what something is wrong. Normally Swami used to come, first person standing, Swami used to give smile. Okay. And then I realized, oh my God, I have forgot to remove my mush. I was told also that you remove your mush. So during the darshan, now what happened was when I remembered, oh my God. So Swami had come out from his home and he had gone to Gurvat hall for darshan. Now there is 1.5 hour, at least 1 hour Swami is going to be there. I will quickly go and remove my mush and come. So I did that. I went to the barber, quickly removed my mush, and again came to the central position and stood over there. Now this time when Aarti and all was done, Swami came by and he looked at me, and suddenly he looked at me the second time and he did like this. So from that time the mush is gone forever. It's a small thing, but it's the way Swami used to guide us and give it the joy. Yeah. Yeah, some of the personal things and blessings of Bhagwan. Department of Music, we had initially, which was called as Shri Milpuri College of Music. Okay, it was neither under SSI, neither under the trust. It was all like Swami had started out of. Finally, it is under the SSI, but it was not officially like conducted by that. Hostels were common and all that. What amount of love Swami has showered on the music boys, you won't imagine. I mean, Aditya is here, Advaita is here, so many of the students are there, but I've experienced. Every now and then he used to visit, when the college was started, every now and then he used to visit the college and make the boys sing. Somebody is doing mridangam, somebody sitar, somebody vocal, some tabla. All 5, 6 Carnatic and Hindustani, we had all these faculties. And at one point of time, I was just sharing with Binduji today that Swami suddenly called, normal bhajan is going on, and 2 teachers, we are, P.S. Srinivasan was a singer, and we were playing tabla, I was playing tabla, and next day, we were scheduled to have a music program from the Milpuri College of Music for Swami, next day. So Swami called us and said, where is program? So Swami program is tomorrow. I want program now, he said. Now program is scheduled tomorrow and he wants the program now. Now you just imagine what difficulty, what soup we are following. Then Swami very nicely will go by, walk around, give darshan. By the time we are getting the right pitch tablas or the singers or things, and we prepared to sit over there, Swami again comes and not here, sit next to me over there on the stage. Now it's such a small place, 15-20 boys to sit was really difficult, but we used to manage. Somebody's foot on there, somebody's tabla is over here, somebody's like that we are all sitting and so that's the uncertainty of Bhagwan. And he used to guide us in a way, and in a musical way also, that at one point of time, one tabla boy was there, he joined late and his IQ was very low. And especially in the tabla, there is this particular place where we play the na, the playing sur. So this is the edge where the na, you can't not do like this, it will sound blurry. So there's a particular way to do it and a technical way to do it. So Swami was telling that boy particularly and like showing him how to do the na. And then Swami looked at us and said, what is it? So everyone said na. Swami said, that is okay. What is it? So that's the sum, the main na, it comes from the sum. Again Swami said, what is it? Third time he asked, we were like scared. This is like, Then Swami said, that is the birth of the sound. That is Sai. That is Krishna. Sa of the vocal and the na of the tabla or the dome of the mridangam. So that's the birth of that instrument, that the birth of that singer. So that's how important is it. And then all these names, what are these things? What are all these things? Only sargams or only tabla bowls or what are these? He used to ask. Tabla bowls, sargam chal raha hai, tabla mridangam kunno pade. No, these are divine names, they are names of the gods. Now we do not know, I shared this information with the top artists. They are also still in wondering what names, which name is for which god and all that. The technicalities we do not know because the scriptures are not there anymore. But that's why when we create music or we offer, that's why we say offer. That offering has to be like a naivedyam. When we cook something for Bhagwan, it has to be so piously done in a particular manner, in a particular way, in a particular time, in a particular method, and all that recipe and all that. Similarly, bhajans, songs, we are offering for teaching and Bal Vikas or other Narayan Seva has to be done in that manner. He expects that as a naivedyam. And then Swami, he will just like do a small, and that's your all blessed, which we cannot see anymore. But that's, of course, he's everywhere. So I think with this, we are coming to the end of the presentation over here. And Charana Kamala Bandho Sainath Ke. And this also has a story. So one singer sang, not from the Parti, but some other artist, he sang this bhajan. Charana Kamala Bandho Sainath Ke, Charana Kamala Bandho, you know that song. So later, next day in the interview, Swami asked him, do you know the meaning of that song? What are the lyrics? He made him sing again. Okay, he started singing. He said, no, tell me the lyrics. So he was singing, Charana Kamala Bandho Sainath Ke, Charana Kamala Bandho. So can anybody tell me what do we know about this? What is the meaning of Charana Kamala Bandho Sainath Ke? What will say? Charana Kamala Bandho. Bandho means what? This Bandhana. Okay. Sainath Ke. Now Charana Kamala Bandho in North India we say Bandho or Bandhu, in brotherhood.
Yes.
In other language, Bandho means you are completely grasped and completely engrossed in that thing in some other language. So finally Swami said that, Charana Kamala Bandho Sainath Ke, that if you once hold my feet, that's it.
Okay.
Bandh ke rakhna. In all ways, he was explaining to him in such beautiful way, and then Swami sang that for him in a beautiful way. So many explanations, so many experiences of Bhagwan. Every one of us are very fortunate to be in the fold, experience Bhagwan, and the saga is growing. It will grow on and it will go on, and not just fulfill our lives, but our societies, our homes, our the entire environment. That's what we should pray for. So with this humble offering and a little bit of sharing of the experiences, again coming to that point that this is nothing to do with Nishikant, this is about Swami's love. The message is that do what you have to do in a particular way. Be honest to yourself. There is no need of any kind of showbiz or anything like that. Be pure to your heart. When you do it from the full Satsat Vivek Buddhi and your heart and that bhav, Swami will be happy and He's always blessing us. Sometimes we reach that current and we get a blessing as a current, but it should be a permanent joint. It should be a permanent, bigger bandwidth, as we say. So with these few words, I end my talk over here. Om Shri Sairam.
Thanking Bhagwan Baba, Divine Mother Sai, for this, I would say, a celestial evening, a love-loaded evening, an experience-loaded evening that we all would taste the divine nectar in different proportions that Brother Nishikant has just opened his heart out on. In truly Singapore way of saying, we say can or can la. So Nishikant brother, Nishikan la. He has proved that with simple heart and surrender, Bhagwan opens his blessings for us. It is for me to thank Brother Nishikant for accepting the invitation, which we were trying for the last 3 years. Due to some reason or the other, it was not materializing, and the feeling was growing as it is with any other devotees visiting this beautiful center. It was like Sabri waiting for Rama. And I can tell you that. We have been for this, and somehow Bhagwan has been kind to allow all the Sabris sitting here to have Lord Sai Rama's darshan through his ambassador, devotee, who is so surrendered, because all these movements into Parthi, all that he has shared today and he has shared to us, it shows that when you surrender to Sharanagati, he just takes you and holds you over. So thank you, Brother Nishikant, for accepting that, coming over, sharing your lovely moments. And we have got many more cities lined up in US, with devotees of US. I'm sure they're lucky enough to have him there. I thank Brother Sriram, Sister Padma Shri, and everyone here for you all to have accommodated this when we planned and we requested. It was such a time that we tried even last time, and even this short time. So thanks again for arranging all that. I thank Brother Ravin, not to say the least, who is always such a, like brother was saying, the singers connect us to Bhagwan, right? Bhakta Bhagwan ke beech ka jo pul hai. There's a bridge between the devotee and the Lord. A beautiful singing helps us to catapult our devotion to that level and take to a transformational level. So thanks Brother Ravin for joining us in all such journeys. And thanks to everyone, all brothers and sisters who have come, because as I was yearning to listen, my whole point of what Swami inspired us to do was that our devotees in Singapore, whenever we get this recharge, then we don't need to wait for 3G. The Wi-Fi and the signal so we can download his love through ambassadors like Brother Nishikant. And that's what we have done. We have downloaded as much as we can. So thank you. Thanks Swami again, and also thanks to Sister Pooja, also who came together for what Nevedin brother was saying, what love that we offer. Then he takes a little and leaves us as prasadam. So thanks sister again for coming together for doing that. So that was it from my side. The words choke me, power me, words engulf. I can't say much because we're all soaked in the divine love today. Thanks, and please enjoy these moments, carry them back. Just don't churn them because there's so much of things in what he has said today. Thank you, Sairam.